it's the second State of the Nation address for this second administration of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, and we'll be giving you all the sights and sounds from Parliament right from when our team gets there. We'll get into the details of some of those expectations of Ghanaians ahead of the day. But it's been a big week for news, and our ladies are seated and they will be giving us their opinions on some of the major stories that we've heard across the different channels. I'll introduce my guests to you this morning. Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahim is a former acting chairperson of the CPP, and she's here with Ellen Amadek, who is special aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former vice president. Ellen, Hajia, good morning to you. Hajia, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam and good morning to you and your cherished viewers out there.
I'm so happy to see you. Ellen,
happy to see you too.
In her red, blue and white. Welcome.
You drew my attention to that. I didn't take notice.
He's always wearing red, blue and white, if you notice.
I see.
Thank you. We'll be joined shortly. She's already around, and she will join us shortly by the technical advisor to the Minister of Sport and Recreation, Betty Crosby Mensah. She's just about to take her seat. But as we start with most Fridays, I want to pick your thoughts on any issue that you would want to bring to our attention, what's on your mind. I have on my list of things for us to touch on today with you ladies: the violence in senior high schools, the rapid depletion of prepaid credits. It's been big this week. Of course, SONA is today. Our armed forces made us very proud, rescued some fishermen who had been, attacked on our seas, and that was very exciting scenes for us indeed. So what's on your mind? Hajia, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to go first because I have two issues on my mind.
Okay.
Good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers out there. And GTV, last week I was here, and you called my general secretary to sort of clarify certain issues. There's some faceless people are writing to you, threatening you, that if you have me on your TV station, I shouldn't be referred as a CPP member. I've been a member of the Convention People's Party from 1995, when some people were lactating babies. So please, don't be threatened by anybody. That letter is fake. The legal committee will take action and write to you all. So please, I want to put it on record. That letter that was signed was fake. It was not sanctioned by the leadership of the party, Central Committee, NEC, or the Congress of the party. I am in good standing, and I'm a member of the Convention People's Party, who has served as a constituency treasurer, secretary to the Women's League region, national women's organizer 2 times, 1 elected, 1 appointed, first vice chairman and acting vice chairman of this our great party. So nobody can huna you people that you shouldn't host me on your show. The general secretary of the party has written this, so please rest assured, if they are a credible law firm, they should take you to court, and we'll meet in court. The second issue has to do with the legal, this marijuana that we are saying we are going to give a license to people to grow. I want to sound a sound of caution, because even without the license, look at what some people are doing, smuggling, and some of our youth smoking it and losing their senses.
That's for recreational use. This one is for medicinal use.
That is why I'm saying there must be some, I didn't finish, there must be some proper monitoring in such a way that it doesn't go, unless of course there are some species that it is particularly going to be used for medicine. I don't know. I don't have that technical knowledge. When I heard it, I was a bit disturbed. At first, we were of the view that, because of the market value of Indian hemp, it's in the cosmetic industries, medicine, and so on and so forth. So if we streamline things, we can even get it, foreign exchange from it. We can export it. So I think it is in a good direction, right direction, but we have to be careful in the way we are, so that some people will not hide and go and grow it and be doing other things with it. Because why not? If we can get money from it, or we can boost our industry, some of the...
Let me touch on the launch of that initiative. the Minister for the Interior, the Honorable Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, at the launch of that initiative, made the case, in case anyone has, forgotten, that cannabis used for recreational purposes is still illegal in Ghana. And that story was in our news bulletin earlier. The conversation is using cannabis for medicinal and industrial purposes. It's still illegal to use police. That's all I want you to know. Let me introduce, as I said, the technical advisor to the Minister of Sport and Recreation, Betty Crosby Mensah. Betty, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
Of course, I'm picking everybody's ideas at the table. I'll give the next opportunity to Ellen to tell us what's on her mind. Good morning to you today. Should be quite an exciting day. What issue do you want to put on the table?
Why should it be exciting?
Because we will listen to the views that will be expressed on the floor of Parliament. And it's Friday, so tomorrow some people don't have to wake up as early. The weekend, bringing February to a nice close.
Mommy, I'm not excited. I've not been excited for the past few weeks.
What happened?
I'm not excited because my father's income has been slashed by almost 30%. Daddy is a cocoa farmer, He's a cocoa farmer. He's a cashew farmer. He's always been in agric all his life. He's a farmer. And this whole cocoa brouhaha, when it started, we all commented on it normally, but it was when he actually called me and did the math to me and told me how it would affect me this year. That was what has made me unhappy.
Stop collecting money from your father.
Why shouldn't I collect money from him? I will collect. Since he's my father and he's alive and he has it, I will collect. I'm his daughter.
What are his concerns?
His concerns are one. He believes that a conversation should have been had with them, the cocoa farmers, before this decision was taken. That conversation didn't happen because this decision was taken midway through the cocoa season. So a price had been agreed on. They were expecting that price, although it hadn't been paid, but they knew that this was what they were getting. A lot of the farmers had made financial decisions based on the prices that they knew they were going to collect, which has been stable like forever. This is the first time ever that their monies have been varied to their disadvantage. So some of them have paid loans, some have paid implements and inputs. And then just all of a sudden, just to be told that the 3,625 will not be paid and that they will be paid 2,500 and something, a whole 1,100 cedis off a bag of cocoa. It's not funny. His concern too is that the majority of our cocoa farmers are elderly people. The young people don't want to go into it because it is tedious work. So majority are over 50 years. Most of them have their lifestyles tied to this money. Those who are on drugs, those who are not well, those who have put in their pension and that is what they take. So this is going to really affect them. So he thinks that government should have a look at it again. And the rhetoric going around it from some government appointees actually annoys them. It really annoys them. So I could have gone the extremely political way and gone at them, but this one, because it's coming from my father, and I have to be a bit. Daddy asked me to be a very, very good girl about
it. To be his daughter.
Exactly. And as I have also said, I'm also affected because Daddy has quite a huge farm. I mean, when you put all of it together, for cocoa he has about 200 acres. For cashew, he's hitting about 400 acres. Cashew prices too have dropped. Last year, they were picking 2,200. Now it's 1,000 cedis. So you can imagine the amounts of money that they are losing. This is just one individual farmer. And there are people who have bigger farms than he does. So this is a tragedy. Then this year, I'm not going to get my rent from Daddy. I'm not going to get my clothing allowance from that. He said he will give me. I'm not going to get my chop money. So, President Mahama, this is your decision. Everybody is affected, including me. So, sir, pay my father so that I can get some money. I'm in opposition too.
See, because you brought daddy into this, now I don't even know what, because if I talk pay, don't take daddy's money. The cocoa pharmacy can no akoji. I always maintain that I'm a child of God. It's always the children of Israel. The adults of Israel never did anything. It's the children that do everything. So we are all children of God. So you are daddy's child. You say I've said something for you.
I beg that you should give them.
So that's what's on Ellen's mind today. Cocoa farmers' concerns, raising the issue, the need for consensus, and perhaps a relook at the slashing the prices of cocoa from her father's perspective as a farmer of the crop. Betty, what's on your mind today?
And by the way, Daddy is 77. So that should tell you what this means for him and his people. He said I should add it. Hey. He's a 77-year-old cocoa farmer.
Daddy, I'm marching. Why? We've been able to raise this woman. Why are there? Betty, what's on your mind?
So, Thelma, thank you very much. Let me.
Where from?
Friday. Today is Friday, so we are going absolutely
we
African.
Our Ghana month this week with
yes,
our local languages.
Exactly.
So we are hearing us speak more of our.
From Wednesday Fugu to Friday, going the real traditional look, and so that is what I represent.
Okay.
A Ghanaian woman, and so let me use this opportunity to say. Being equal to my wonderful panelists, I mean, the beautiful ladies on this table. I'm always very grateful to be among very important women as we sit here. And I want to use the opportunity to also say a very big thank you to our wonderful women, mothers, our grandmothers, our girl child, our children out there, especially the women, that is the women in the Parliament of Ghana, the 41 women all together. I want to say ayuko to you for representing our interests and looking out for us. I want to also say that Abba Papa Abba, congratulations to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the economic management team being led by our dear brother Honorable Ato Forson. Ato is Forson. You are doing a great job. The people of Ghana are very proud of you with your prudent economic management team and everything that you do. We are very proud of you. And I want to also add that the situation where our brothers and sisters in the other political parties, specifically in NPP, want to do a bit of mischief when it comes to issues with cocoa. I think it's something that we should use the opportunity as women on this table to educate the general public. And I want to have my bite in this very subject.
In a minute or two.
In a minute or two. You know, before the NDC took over, we promised Ghanaians to increase cocoa prices to at least 70% of the global price. These indicators are not determined by our, local market. These are global international prices. And we know what the world is heading towards. At the time, in 2024, when the NPP was in government, that per ton of cocoa was about $10,000. The NPP was paying Ellen's father just 32% of that percentage. Just 32%, of which the NDC came out to say that no, leaving over 60% to go into managerial and administrative costs was not helping the ordinary cocoa farmer. And so given the opportunity, they were going to increase the percentage to 70%. My dear Thelma, today, I'm telling you that the world market price on cocoa per ton is just about $4,200. And the 4,200, the government, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is paying cocoa farmers more than 90% of that rate. Look, we have moved from a time when we were we're borrowing to service recurrent expenditure. I was a member of parliament, and I witnessed when the government had to borrow international loans to service, payment of salaries. We are now going into domestication. We should be able to, use our GDP to service our debt. At a time, the GDP to debt was about 90 to 100%. Currently, through the prudent, economic management, it's just between 70 and 75%. And so today, and I'm very proud to also say that I own a corner shop. Through some of this prudent economic management, we know that we are enjoying a better, economic environment. You go to, in 2024, a bag of rice was what? 100, that is 5 kilo. Was 170 Ghana cedis.
Depending on the brand.
Yes, depending on the brand. But notwithstanding, the cheapest is what I'm talking about. Cindy and the likes. Today, Cindy is 65, 70 Ghana cedis. Ghanaians are happy. And so in all, I believe that instead of us going around the rhetorics of trying to deceive the general public and telling Ghanaians the untruth, and the NDC government, through prudent economic management, are serving you, and that is why you voted for them. You expect, and today they are delivering. Today, the the city to dollar rate has, reduced, and Ghanaians are happy. Car garage owners are reducing the
They said I
prices.
should tell you that the rice you mentioned, for marketing reasons, but they say it's 85. It's not 60.
It's not 60. No, then I'm telling you, those days, I own a corner shop, and I'm telling you that those of you listening to me, come to my shop, and I can assure you that is how much I'll sell.
Because you are going on that we want to educate Ghanaians route. You see, when you make campaign promises and they appear to be blanket, and then in comes the administration, and the farmers see with their eyes that the 3,006 is now 2,005. The basic mathematics presents the evidence of a reduction. No matter the explanation, justification that you try to put to it.
Chairman, this is not explanation. This is not. These are the realities. We don't expect the government of Ghana to go and borrow from international market to come and service cocoa farmers. We are working within. Now they are using just 10% of the cost, the international, to really do, to pay for transportation and the total administration cost of, managing our cocoa sector. And so I think that we need to applaud the government for making some of these things possible.
Betty's thoughts, aligned with Ellen's thoughts.
It doesn't align. That says I should tell her that he knows how to calculate.
He was
getting 3,600.
Okay.
He's now getting 2,500. It doesn't matter the rhetoric. His money has been taken, and that's all he wants back. It's not a matter of somebody was giving whatever it was that the MPP was doing that you think was so wrong. You pay them 3,100. You promised them. When you were promising them, did you know that the world price will come down?
You didn't know that against the global market.
So this is the business of the
it's an assurance that when the global market gets better, we are getting value for money.
And you are telling them that they should understand. They hear you. They understand.
They do.
Their pocket will tell them. If somebody has 200 baht,
today
you have taken over
has gone down, and Ghanaians are happy.
What would you call $200,000
mischievous presentation?
And you are telling me that you should be okay with this. So that is okay. He knows how to calculate. The last time he checked, you have taken 1,100 from his pocket.
We haven't. Thank you very much. We are going according to your
policy on this matter.
I want our public to be reassured that we continue to give them nothing but the belly.
And you've taken your father's mind.
That is what annoys them.
And Betty has
continue to reassure your father.
Trying to tell them that they do not know how to calculate.
Economic management, and that is what the ordinary guy is on.
The cocoa farmers are 3,100 to 2,500.
Not some Ghanaians are happy, and others for this SONA address, and we'll get to it in a bit to hear if there is there are new opportunities.
Like I said, we are using your platform. Your platform is a very important platform.
I think we'll get to it, Betty, if I may.
We need to educate Ghanaians.
And I'm sure the
2,500 is better.
That's why I gave you ample time to make the case. And I tell my guests all the time that sometimes if it appears that the government voice on the table needs more time, I am tempted to oblige because there are questions that the other panel members may have, which the government side may have answers to. So I would always give you the benefit of a fair response. But let's do it one after the other so that we can hear each other speak. beyond our passions. So this week, one of the big stories has been that discipline in schools have slacked, and we're seeing more and more of the young people, especially in senior high schools, engaging in untoward behavior, especially during inter-sports competitions. Because I have an all-female panel who are largely the necks of homes. So if there's a head of the home, I feel the women are the neck. So when we turn, the head also turns. Okay. So we are not being feminist here. But I wonder what your thoughts are on discipline in schools. The Ghana Education Service has suspended the sports, inter-colleges sports competitions, and says that some consultations will be had before an announcement is made. Do you think, I'll start with you on the far side, Ellen, that we are on the right track with regards to ensuring and maintaining discipline in schools, looking at the concerns? A police officer, ASP from the Nima district, told us that some of the children go to school with weapons because they are afraid that they will be there and others will come and attack them, or rivals from other schools will come and foment trouble. What practical steps do you think we can take as collective society to bring these matters into better waters? Ellen?
I'm still trying to put my brain around what's happened this week. And in fact, last week, there's a young girl from, I think the Central Region, I've forgotten the name of the school, who was also gang raped in one of these things. I think it's a senior secondary school. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Last week or last 2 weeks, it was also on there. And in that same, it's just that he was in his school uniform. And they just, that mob mentality. I'm wondering what is happening. Maybe we have all missed something that we should be looking at. But I think this is a very complicated situation. One, from the Ministry of Education, therefore GES, I think they should have a real look at this whole sports, what do you call it, the athletics thing. Interquar, or is it inter-schools, it's been there for years. We all had it when we were in secondary school. Yes, once in a while you see rivalry, sometimes it turns into, and these are young people, so what I call youthful exuberance. But never has it gone to this level. So perhaps GES should take a look at it. I'm not saying they should cancel it, because we cannot cancel it. That is here from the Ministry of Sports. That is where we get our young talents from as a nation in athletics. So cutting it out or cancelling it totally, no. But we should look at how maybe we organize it. If we're going to only get those who are going to partake in the activities to actually show up and keep the rest of the students in school. I think so.
But the euphoria of the Jama atmosphere,
with what is happening, I know we all understand that. But with what is happening, it is either we cancel it totally, or we let the sports people meet where they will meet and get the best out of it. We cannot also say that we are cancelling it, because we cannot keep the talents of our young people and not get them. Our future competitions in our future work as a nation in athletics will go down. So we have to look at it. Whilst we look at what is really, really going on in our secondary schools, because it seems to be widespread. Of course, a majority of the cases seems to be coming from the Central Region. That's also something that I think the Ministry of Education should be looking at. Why the Central Region? Because that same week, I also heard from the CID boss when she went to Swedru that she was heading on to Adisadel to also go and deal with another matter of the same
Agri-Memorial.
I mean, so what is it with the Central Region that seems to be having more of such cases? Once we are on it, let's not forget the Eastern Region young lady and all those that happened. My school, my former alma mater is in the Eastern Region. I went to St. Rose's in Akwetia, and we do meet. I'm sure some of our students went for these programs. So I can just imagine, and knowing my school and knowing how the young ladies are treated, I can only imagine the trauma that they will be going through, hearing that one of the assistants from another school has been gang raped. It's something that we have to look at, and I hope we also have an update on how that young lady is doing. If there's help, All of us have to come together and help us. Sometimes these things come, we talk about it, and we forget, and the victims suffer for the rest of their lives. It is something that all of us have to keep an eye on. So that Eastern Regional rape matter, how is it going? How is the young lady doing? I think it's something that maybe, Thelma, you can follow up and let us find out what's happening to her.
Indeed, we will.
Once we are at it, I'm quite passionate about this because next year your nephew is going to school.
Oh, so soon.
Yes. And I can just imagine that waking up one morning and a video just comes on my phone and here's Kweku that people are pelting stones at him as a mother. So I can only empathize with the parents of that young boy and the boy himself. I saw him after he got some treatment. He was giving an interview and he was traumatized. Totally. After talking about GS, we have to talk about parents. Sometimes you think that you are training your child well, and you are training him well, but you forget that you go out into the world and go and meet children who have not been trained. Go and meet children who are coming from all sorts of backgrounds. Go and meet children who are also going through abuse themselves, and sometimes the only way they can express themselves is through these things. So we have to talk about where we are keeping our children right from kindergarten all the way into the junior schools before they enter secondary schools to go and exhibit such behavior. What is it? I know we are all busy. We are all looking for money. We are all looking for things to make our lives better. But a lot of us are teenage children. We are simply not invested in their lives. We get up, we are here. Assuming your children are on holidays. By now, they won't even see you. By the time you go home, they are asleep. But we have to make the effort. We have left the bringing up to house helps, to nannies, to the school, to neighbors, to anybody. How many of us really keep tabs of our children? And I'm not talking about the babies. I'm talking from the 10-year-olds, those who are entering the early adolescents, the adolescents, all the way till they are independent. We just leave them on their own. Most of us have given them phones and gadgets. And whatever these children are doing on these phones, we have no idea. They are in WhatsApp groups, they are in TikTok groups, they are in all manner of groups, and the things that they are being taught, Thelma, you'll be shocked. We don't know because we don't know what they do with themselves. We don't know their friends. We don't have conversations with them. Nothing. All we think about is giving them food, giving them clothes, giving them what they want. And that is the end result of what we are seeing. Most of these children, they have two characters. So I call them bipolar children, not in the bad way.
Well,
what they show at home,
the mental
it is so totally different.
And then let's not use bipolar.
Okay, so what word can I use?
Dual personality.
Dual personalities. Okay, so they are not bipolar. They are the most
two-faced.
Two-faced. Okay. You would think that you have an angel at home. You have this soft-spoken, calm young man. He goes to school, and by the influence of his peers, some of the things your child will say, you would get shocked.
So we've had this conversation this week, and we've talked about how communal we've lost that communal, that social spirit of raising children, and everyone has basically left. The obiabanye mentality.
It's so bad that sometimes your own siblings in the family, you cannot talk about your nephews or your nieces. Doing anything, you just look at them. And that's how bad it has gotten.
And when you find yourself in a place where you are the auntie, you can't even talk about that child because in my girl circles, none are akebwe. Unless you go and born your own.
Especially if you don't have a child.
And like go and have your own and then do what you want with them. Yeah. But Haji, I want your thoughts on this so that perhaps if there is a direction, because intercolleges is such a key part. And let's not forget all the mega stars Ghana has produced through the intercolleges system. The Asamoah Gyants and the Michael Essiens were all products of secondary school sports activities that, gave them a platform to be catapulted into these senior high school sports teams which then, brought them. And there are countless number of athletes who have used the same door into stardom and superstardom. So the communal spirit is lost. I didn't ask Ellen this. Perhaps when she gets another opportunity, she may respond. Something that we've given so much responsibility to raising the children in the schools, to their schools, but we've taken the power from the teachers to discipline the children. What are your thoughts on this, Haja?
You see, Thelma, I think since last week we were discussing this indiscipline issues in the school, and it is very, very alarming and very disheartening. You're talking about the people that we have gotten through sports and what have you. I was a sports girl, and I can tell you most of the people I knew them through sports. The first time I came close to Abidipele was at I don't know whether it's Elwak or Achimota that time. I was in class 6. I was playing table tennis, and I was brought all the way from Upper Region to come and play table tennis. And the weather that time in Achimota is like snow. You wake up in the morning and you are shaking. I knew so many people. There's a guy called Kora. He was at Tia Amadia, Esther, Ashanti Pajaru. That time I was playing table tennis and volleyball. I knew all these people through sports. We could play with each other and make fun of each other.
Oh, you should see.
But not to the extent of maybe fighting each other.
When I was, just a few short years ago, not to interrupt, but I remember several occasions when Stephen Appiah was in town, and he would call his colleagues, he would call Asamoah, he would call Michael, and they would all gather in some, whether it's at Choco, and I've seen them do this at Choco especially. They've done it a few seasons at Mamprobi, they've done this at Malam, and they would come and play football. It sort of gingers the young people in the community. Sometimes they do that and then continue with whether it's a health screening, some kind of program. So sports has brought us a long way.
A long way.
So why should we? For discipline, structured.
In fact,
system. What do we say in discipline?
Formally, you could hear some small miscommunications here and there when it comes to sports, especially when maybe a team wins. I remember when I was in Big Boss, Navasco, I think it was volleyball or football, then they'll be making fun of her. Big Boss for Mawa, on shape it, that kind of thing. But we don't get angry. They will also sing a song that will have, and then we'll sleep in the same dormitory. If it's Big Boss who is hosting, we sleep in the same way. If Navasco, Boku Secondary, the same thing. But to the extent of even harming each other, I don't know. I don't know what has brought us all these problems. So I think, as you said, the communal, and then the discipline, when we have taken all the powers from the teachers to discipline our children.
Do you agree with that?
I think it is part of the problem. You see, when I was in Big Boss, a student can punish the junior. Maybe you've done something, they will tell you to go and fetch sand, 10 buckets, and go and pour it on the football pitch. And I was very tiny, you see, and I was always having problems. I don't know why. When they punish me, then my classmates will make sure they take the 10 buckets. We'll go and fetch the sand, then they will hide at the corner. Before they realize I've finished fetching the 10 sand, then the prophet will come and say, how did you finish this thing? But in a cool manner, no fights. Within the schools, even inter-houses, we play football and make fun of each other. But to the extent of pelting stones, trying to eliminate somebody's life, I think we have to revisit where this problem started. Because I think discipline, if a child misbehaves in school, should be disciplined.
But discipline, the form of discipline.
That is what I'm saying. Because you see, the form of discipline. I remember most of the time, I'm sharing my experience as a student. Apart from fetching sand to go and fill the pit, you'll be asked to weed. We have grass, we say elephant grass, between the girls' dormitory and the classroom. So the prophet will go and measure side, go and weed. You understand? But not to punish you in such a way that you don't even want to come to school, or maybe that will hurt your health. You understand? And then in my school, when you are coming to school, they want to know your health issues. Like me, I had eye problems. So they said I shouldn't be carrying something heavy on my head. So the school understood me. So they don't give me that. So at times, if students are asked to fetch water and I'm not fetching, they say, why is it that I'm not sitting there, she's not fetching water? But the then headmaster, who was a product of Prempeh College, Bayala, understood the nature of young people and their background. And then every Monday, nobody wants to miss assembly because there will be a general instruction for the week. General instructions for the week.
Well, what can schools do?
Everybody will stick to that instructions.
What can schools do when the students, obviously there are general codes of conduct for every school, and they expect some kind of compliance? Obviously, these instances of, attacks and abuse and assault do not follow the laid down structures. Now that some of the boys have been arrested and they are facing
we have a
some
situation
sanctions.
whereby some people,
do?
when they discipline children, parents go to the school to warn them.
And this has been said at this table this week, yes?
And I think it is not good. We send our children and see the teachers, headmasters as their mothers, fathers, and grandfathers. So I think we should give them the opportunity to train the children in such a way that they will come out to be good citizens.
Okay.
But if you have a situation whereby you have given your child to a school to take care of, and your eyes is there, then you are there, you are there. Even some of the teachers fear, because we even have instances where teachers are attacked outside the school.
And today I think the general agreement is that we don't want to share, play the videos again because we understand how it can affect people. But we actually did air a video where a teacher was attacked. A community.
That is where I'm coming to.
I can only presume that maybe it's the relatives or some people.
You see, even that's what I'm saying. Not even on campus, not even in school. Maybe outside the school, a teacher is walking. The child will say, "This is the guy who is disturbing me in school. He killed me." Then the community will organize and come and beat the teacher. No, okay, maybe, okay, then why did they attack the teacher? Maybe the teacher disciplined the child. Okay. You understand? You see, we were caned in school, but the way we were caned did not hurt us. That's what I'm saying. Till today, I can remember some of the teachers in secondary school then. But not from my class 1 to 6. I can remember. I can remember from class 1 to 6, the teacher. Because experimental primary school were so disciplined in such a way that you don't misbehave. Okay. You don't misbehave at all. I told you, every Monday there will be inspections. They will inspect your fingernails. They will inspect your section because we have red, blue, green, yellow. And then they will come and give marks. On Friday, they will announce and all of us will be dancing. Secondary school, the same thing. You have inspection. On Mondays, the head house mistress will come to the dormitory and inspect your beds to see whether you've laid them well, whether your buckets have been put well, and so on and so forth. But if you do it now, a child can go and report to the parent, and then the parent will be attacking the teacher outside the school. So now, what can we do to resolve this matter?
Okay,
I think it needs further discussions, maybe stakeholder consultations.
Yes.
PTA will come in. And then let me tell you, Thelma, I said this somewhere and people didn't, well, I said, most of the time, if you do the background check, most people who are not from strong background do that. Few are from maybe rich background. Before you realize that person can take his child. So me, if my child is going to school, I said, me, if you go, listen to your teacher. Don't misbehave. Because if you misbehave and you are sacked, I have no place for you in this house, even though you are 14 years. I cannot accommodate you here. So parents too, we have to sort of conscientize and educate our children. If you go, don't say that because A is misbehaving, me too, I'm going to misbehave. That person misbehaving, maybe he is from a family that can take care of me. Me, I cannot. So therefore, you
to get in trouble, you're on your own.
You're on your own.
It sounds like something my mom would say.
Like I was telling somebody, I said, if you go and do teenage pregnancy, you use your uniform to carry your baby. So you are in school. Take your time and finish your school and get a man to marry. That's it. So you see what is happening there. That pelting of vision of the teacher, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. And even the boy who was pelted, I couldn't watch it. When I just saw the flash, I said, no, this one I cannot. I'm imagining when my boy was in secondary school. Maybe in his uniform, importing passing. And people did that to him. What am I going to do? An orphan that I'm taking care of.
Okay.
You understand?
When we talk about solutions, it seems that there are so many legs where this could come from, doesn't it? There is the school's responsibility. There is the policy makers' responsibility to put the structures in place that the school will run on. There is, as Hajia and Ellen have said, what parents themselves need to do to monitor the behaviors of their children. But we know that we can put all the best systems in place and something can still go very wrong. And yes, the Ministry of Education is the mother ministry in this because these are schools we are talking about. But because it's inter-colleges, I think it's just prominence that brought you here. Because as a technical advisor on sports, I'm sure that this is of particular concern to the ministry. What kind of conversations have been had in the wake of these issues that we've had? And I can go through a list of them to bring our viewers along when it comes to the incidents that we've reported, especially in this year. 19th February, a clash occurred during the district school's athletics gaming involving Obrache Senior High Technical School and Swedru School of Business, Swebus. The video circulating on social media showed tension escalating into a physical confrontation where we saw a student from Obrache SHTS assaulted. We saw him pelted with stones and beaten with sticks. He was hospitalized. Later reports showed that he had been treated and discharged. His father had been called. He went to pick him up. GS suspended all inter-schools and zonal sports activities in the central region indefinitely. The police CID is actively investigating and has made some arrests. A 24-hour ultimatum was given to identify the remaining suspects. I'm yet to hear back on that. So far, that happened in the central region. The eastern region, also in February, 3 eastern region schools, Kofodia Senior High Technical, New Durban Senior High School, and New Insutam Senior High Technical School, all also from sports-related activities. They have been suspended for 2 years due to hooliganism during the regional superzonal sports competition. We remember also the 2026 inter-schools competition at Baba Yara Sports Stadium and the clashes that also happened. The students vandalizing Swami Technical Institute, vandalizing school, property and all that. Largely all related to, of course, the Agro Memorial incident where some students allegedly assaulted an Adisado College student after an inter-college sports festival in Cape Coast. And the reasons are many. So these conversations that are being had, what solutions are being put on the table, Betty?
So, Thelma, to start, as a mother, I am particularly disappointed in the young people that got themselves involved in this unfortunate act. And I want to use the opportunity to condemn it in totality at all levels. And also to draw our attention, whilst we are talking about indiscipline in our schools, you also realize that most of this violent acts usually doesn't happen during academic time, period. It usually happens during sports or inter-schools, period. And this year, 2026, I must say, is not in isolation. Violence associated with our sports and then our inter-school sports activities have been in the system over the years. And so I think it is about time we had some measures put in place to ensure that these things are properly dealt with. Violence, within our sports sector is not also just limited to the schools. It goes beyond, to the extent that we have had a number of experiences. You remember the May 9th disaster, where a number of our citizens had to lose their lives because of violence, and I believe that it started from somewhere. And so as a ministry, as a sector, we are doing everything humanly possible to see how best we can curtail some of this acts.
What are some of them?
Most importantly, we see that we need to create the needed awareness for the young people to appreciate the essence of sports. Why there is sports in the first place? Apart from, using the opportunity to identify and harness talents, it's a way of also promoting social cohesion. And so if that is not addressed, then what are we doing? Again, it's a way of also promoting, recreation and wellness, because we believe that children or young people who usually go onto the field or are involved in sporting activities are 50% brighter than their counterparts that are not involved in sporting activities. So the awareness is important for us to create. Again, it is important for us to take into consideration the infrastructure. I'll tell you something. I talk about infrastructure because a couple of days ago, I participated in the inter-school. In fact, I went and observed the inter-school competition in Alajo. And I realized that the previous administration, they made some efforts in terms of constructing some astroturf. Unfortunately, these astroturfs were, constructed without fan stands where people or supporters can easily stand. So what I observed was the majority of them were standing on our streets. And so there was no proper, sense of control. Because when we are back in our schools, there is that control, bringing them together. The teachers, the supervisors are able to control them. But in this case, they were outside the premises of the school. They were standing on the streets, and then anything at all what could happen. And so from the Ministry of Sports, those are some of the measures that we have put in place. Currently, we have activated the National School Sports. We are working in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service to implement the action plan for the National School Sports. And they are going to set up a set of framework that is going to guide and protect our sports in general. Now, I'll give you an example. Most often our friends or those of us who are interested in the International Premier League, you realize that those people are no different from us. However, there is some level of discipline when it comes to the game of play. It's because the regulators, that is FIFA, had laid down certain sanctions for certain behaviors. And so you know that when you're a supporter, your fan or a player goes out of his way to misbehave, those sanctions will be applied. And so we believe that the work between the Ghana School Sports, that is Ghana School and Grassroots Sports, in collaboration with Ghana Education Service, will be able to lay out some of these sanctions to schools so that it will not just be against the individual student, but the school, to give them the opportunity to reorient their students when they go out there for inter-school activities. It will serve as a means of also monitoring the students' activities. It gives us the opportunity to properly also identify and harness talent, as we talked about. We also have a government program currently running known as the National Recreation and Wellness Program. Now, the objective of the National Recreation and Wellness Program doesn't only focus on the competitive sports, or someone will say the elite sports. We are focusing on the recreational aspect. And when we talk of recreation, it means that, like my dear sister was suggesting, probably we could just focus on the athletes that have been selected to participate in the various games. But the recreation aspect will deal with the masses, where various games, such as the traditional games, our board games, AMPE, is also coordinated alongside to keep the children very busy. And so when you have one activity or the other, it will keep you so busy that you will not be forced to go out there and misbehave. And finally, we believe that we need to strengthen the relationship between teacher, that is the parent-teacher association, and that is another very key area.
What powers do teachers have? Teachers say they feel helpless. We've spoken to some of them. Hajia and Ellen have also made similar points. They are afraid to touch the children because either Imami Baba Jibu, hello, somebody will come and exchange some very unpleasant words with you. What powers do teachers have?
Tama, you know, individual temperaments count. We know our teachers have gone through various levels of training. But sometimes it's so disappointing when your child comes home. I'll use the word abuse, beaten, with scars on their skin and things like that.
Yeah.
These are definitely issues of concern.
You remind me of a backup story I have.
It doesn't mean that the teachers do not have control. We are only saying that they should exercise caution in their, effort to discipline a child. And so what I'm saying is that we need to strengthen that relationship between parents and the teachers so that we understand our responsibilities, both the teachers and the parents. Now, let me also cite this example. Haja was talking about the kind of orientation we also give to our children. There are laws in this country, Thelma. There are laws in this country. And it's about time parents also educate ourselves about the laws of this country. It's not about, a child or a young man going to rape a child and then you leave him to his 21-year-old son. And you know what? Right from the age of 14, I keep reminding him that, look, it is wrong to have sex with a woman or a girl who says no. These are issues that we all agree.
But at 14, even if the girl says yes, it's still wrong.
No, we stand it. We need to give them that education. You understand? Deliberately tell them what the law says and some of the punishments or the consequences of your action. But if we don't do, yesterday I was watching a TikTok where a father was telling his child, violence is not an answer. And so the girl goes to a ballet class and somebody just kicked her down and the father was like, woo. He said, oh, daddy, but you said violence is not an answer. He said, I've changed my mind. When you go out there, that is the way you respond. It is our responsibility on how we are in. Unfortunately, on that video, when the first child kicked the girl, I saw the teacher just watch on. So when I talk about strengthening the relationship, we should be able to empower the teachers in such a way that they will be able to pay proper attention to some of these details. But when we decide to strengthen it, I think that it will go a long way for them to understand that. Absolutely. Look, I'll tell you something. Your child goes to school from 7 a.m. and comes home after 3. The only period the parent gets to spend with the child is from 4 o'clock to maybe 9 o'clock when the child is at home. No, okay. But majority of the time is spent in school. So if we don't empower the teachers to really discipline and take care of our children, then I think that we are not doing ourselves any good.
Ladies, I appreciate so much all the thoughts that you all have brought to this matter. Quite worrying. We hope that in the coming days and weeks we'll have the opportunity to hear more about some of these plans and whether or not they will work. So let's come to happenings of today again. President expected to deliver the State of the Nation address, his second under this second administration. Once we get the signal from our correspondent in Parliament, we'll take you there to get a sneak peek into the happenings there and the events unfolding on the floor of Parliament and around the chamber. So we are waiting to get that signal. And while we wait, we'll touch on pressing national issues and we'll get some reactions for you. I know that I'll pick your thoughts on what to expect with regards to the president's address today, but ECG is on the block this week. And it's because customers have complained that their prepaid credit is running. Here for Tamuzen boat, a credit here will no 10 seconds, 100 meters line here, and the customers are complaining. They're saying that the thing gets finished too quickly. We haven't bought new gadgets. We haven't, added an extra business to what we usually would consume in the house, but the prepaid credits is still getting used up. PURC says, come and give some answers and tell us why this is happening. And ECG is expected to give the information to PURC. So the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission gave a 48-hour ultimatum to ECG to explain and outline remedies for the reported rapid depletion of prepaid electricity units being experienced by some customers. So let's listen to PURC now.
As indicated yesterday, we actually summoned ECG today to come to PURC, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, and come and explain to us what is happening and what remedies they have kept in place for the consumer. And they've done just that. We are still in a crunch meeting. We are trying to get them to explain further. But we've given them an ultimatum of 48 hours to come out with a communique to explain to the Ghanaian consumer what exactly the issues are and the way forward, the solutions they have for the Ghanaian consumer. But they've explained generally the issues, and they will be communicating that to the Ghanaian consumer as expected.
As a consumer advocate that speaks on behalf of consumers, I think the outcome that they will put out would make a lot of people feel comfortable. There are certain things that, with technology, sometimes it's not under our control. A lot of things can go into it. So I would say, yes, based on my engagement with them, I understand, and I'm hoping that they will come up with solutions that would make the consumers a lot happier. They've identified what the challenges were. So in terms of...
Consumer Protection Agency advocate and Mr. Kofi Kapito speaking there after the PURC official. So as we've said, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has formally directed ECG to investigate the complaint and come back within a week. We heard the PURC summoning ECG into those emergency meetings, giving them 48 hours to also give back something. ECG insists that the problem is not because of the smart meters that they've installed. And on the floor of Parliament, we had heated debates from MPs who were making the case for more information to be provided by ECG with regards to what is happening. Ladies, I don't know if any of you have experienced this. Hadia, because you mentioned in your initial comments that you want to talk about it, I'll give you the first opportunity to have a go at this one and tell us what your experience has been.
Oh, the experience there. I had some explanation. I don't know whether it's just AI or something. Some people saying that because people have gone for reduced appliances, normally there's sales. That's why they are consuming more electricity. And some are also saying that, yes, that was what I heard. That was a big surprise. Because it is not all of us that are. Item me was a video I saw yesterday, a man shouting, saying that he's going to destroy the meters that they've come to put in their area. If you don't do that. No, that's why it's frightening, because which means people are frustrated. As you said, the thing is running like a whole symbol. Every and then some people are also saying that because we buy the electricity tot, that is why we are feeling we should buy it in bulk. Where is the money to buy it in bulk?
That one is from your former General Secretary.
You understand? That we should buy it in bulk.
Now NDC presidential.
No, that's what I heard on TikTok. Or
she
is it somebody?
She said
so now, if you are speaking this way, how would an ordinary Ghanaian think? Because if you are there to speak on behalf of the government, you should speak in such a way that will touch the body and soul of the consumer. The way you have summoned the Electricity Corporation to come and explain. You give further and better particulars that we have informed the ECG to come and explain. But if you tell me that I should go and buy in bulk, 1,000, and maybe my salary is 1,002, you want me to use 1,000 for electricity in a month, I think some of the NDC appointees, or for that matter, His Excellency Don Mama's appointee, are disappointing him if really she said that. I only heard, I don't know the one who, she's telling me the one who said it. You understand? If really it came from her, then that is most unfortunate.
I said it came
because
from her.
If it's anything at all, as communicators of the government, that is being paid by the taxpayers' money, you should know. I'm not praising this lady sitting here. Look at how she has tackled the issue without any, apart from her having the banter with the MPP counterpart. As for that one, it's normal. We see it. As somebody communicating for the government, you should speak in such a way that people will say, oh, maybe the government is thinking about us. People are complaining about the electricity. I'm telling you, Telma, when we finish off here, I'll open my phone. We buy it on our phones. You buy it. You are sleeping around 2 a.m. Then it's gone. If you don't have money on your phone, then you have to undress on your bed, open the windows, because if you're not careful and thieves are around, they can steal your items as they did to me some time back when there was Dumso. So for me, the government, I'll be expecting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and I believe him. I'm telling you, to be honest with you, me, I respect all presidents. Me, that's how I am. If you are the president, you are president of Ghana, not president of MPP or NDC. No, me, I don't see it like that. We want to hear something concrete from the president because everybody is crying about this ECG. Is it that the people that he has put at ECG are not capable enough to manage the ECG? That's why maybe, I don't know, some people are saying some people got contract and bought some meters that is running like, somebody say 440. You see, we are speaking, that's why I always say that the government of the day shouldn't see some of us as just talking and criticizing. No, that the eyes does not see itself, if not by the reflection of a different object. And we are the reflectors, reflecting what is happening. But she like this, it will be difficult at times to go hard on people who appointed her. And she's right, you understand? But some of them too are speaking in such a way that if you hear, say, so it's our money that they are using to pay them. If I don't have the money to buy in bulk, I'll buy tot. Because maybe I have other responsibilities. I have water to take care of. I have rent to take care of. That's those paying rent. Alhamdulillah, I'm not paying rent. I can't sit on television and lie. I'm not paying rent. But electricity is what is killing me in my house. Because me, I have a borehole. And I budget it in such a way that in a month, I look at electricity bill, divide it into two, and say water bill, electricity bill. You understand what I mean? But now, Thelma, so if there are issues, let's address the issue. They shouldn't put salt on our injuries. You understand? Because I'm not sure even His Excellency, when he hears it, he'll be happy. At least you should communicate in such a way people will say, oh, maybe this or that. But the meters, you know, we were having a different meter and they came and changed it. The one that I was using, I was lucky they changed it for me because I think there was a week, all the area, thieves stole all the meters. With the exception of mine. Only mine, because mine is different. If you take it somewhere, you can't use it. The way it has been programmed. Because mine got spoiled, and when I went to report, that time it's in Sawan. Now I think we've been moved to Amasama or something. When I went there, then they gave me and I said, why is it big like this? But they said that is what they have, and they gave it to me. Apparently, I'll be lucky. The week the thieves came around, they stole all the meters on my street, apart from mine, and it's still standing. Pets. Now the way it is going, the electricity bills that we are paying, I think is on the high side.
Okay.
And I think today, SONA, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will address the issue of cocoa and then, for that matter, electricity.
Okay. So there's already two subtopics ahead of SONA. So ECG, power issues, and also the cocoa issue is top on the table. We haven't even started the conversation on the president's address yet, but we have two matters on the table already. That cocoa, Ellen's father and his people, and ECG.
I want to find out where the women banking have reached. Okay. Because I'm interested in that.
So we'll spend a few minutes to talk about the address, but let's hear the concerns across the table about prepaid credit. What has been your experience? Betty.
Thelma, indeed, I have equally been a victim of the situation. I must be very frank with you.
Thank you.
The rate at which our energy consumption is currently running is definitely an issue of concern. However, I am very happy and proud to know that we have a government or a president who is always listening and ready to do what is right.
I share your experience. I want to hear.
Okay, so just like about last week, I was home when my lights actually went out. I usually buy about 500 Ghana cedis and I use it for a period of 2 weeks. And in fact, this time around, I bought 600 because I didn't have 500. I just had 200 cedis, notes. So I just paid for 600 Ghana cedis. And less than 5 days, I was home when my lights went off. And so I thought maybe it was
something before.
Something had gone, it was probably general, lights out. And so I asked my guys to go and check, and they said, no, it's my meter that. And I said, I bought credit just last 5 days ago, and I personally paid for it, so I'm surprised because, in fact, gone were the days when I buy 500, I'm able to use it for a period of 2 weeks, and so I'm surprised that within 5 days the lights have already gone out, and so I am particularly happy that the Ministry of Energy and the management of green transition have come out to indicate or issue that they are expecting full investigations into this issue, so that, you know, at appropriate time, when they have the rights report, they will be able to attend to it. We have a listening government. We have a government that is really ready to attend to the needs of the people of Ghana. And so once all of us are adding our voices to it, and they have admitted that, yes, of course, they agree that definitely there's an issue that needs to be addressed, I believe that Ghanaians should be rest assured and that this issue will be dealt with appropriately.
Okay. Ellen, any experience you can share?
That's our prayer.
Well,
You see my receipt?
this electricity matter.
Have you seen my
In fact, I'll add water to it.
Okay.
1,000.
We still don't have water around the Spring Teshi, Tema, Nungua, all that area. For me, you know, I live in between Spring Tex and Kaswa, depending on what I have to do for my old man. As for Kaswa and its environs, you know, because of Galamsey, the Konyaku Water Works was closed down. So for the past 6-7 months, water has not been flowing through the taps. We've been using the tankers. We understand that till we decide, all of us, especially those of us in the central region, decides to behave ourselves and allow the water works to work. We are not going to get water from the Konyaku Water Works because they can't. It's as simple as that.
But
so
we didn't hear about the EPA's plan.
Which
so
one?
the EPA is on a road. They said they have something that is going to clear.
Please, let me talk
system.
about this, my mother.
So the brain went from this, and then 30 minutes later it went to this, and then an hour later it went to this. So
they can do this with flowing water or stagnant water?
They fetched this from the river.
They fetched it?
Yes.
So they are going to fetch the whole. They are going to fetch the whole brim.
The demonstration was they put a
the question is that why not I heard people asking. I am not an environmentalist. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it. But the question those who are asking is that if it's water purification, Ghana Water does it. They dam the water and then they purify it. So what is so strange about this one? Is she going to dam the whole Brim River? Is that what she's going to do? When we haven't tackled the root cause of the matter.
It's a fine chance to have the EPA
please, let me talk about my matter now. So in Kaswa, I don't have water. Then, just late last year, or let me say from September, the Teshi desalination plant went off. Ghana Water is telling us that it's contractual issues. It's not as if there's something wrong. It's been off, and we've been, apparently, all of us in that area that was being served have been rerouted to the Kpong. And Kpong is already serving huge numbers. So we have not had water. And what is even paining me and getting to me for the past 2 weeks, Thelma, we haven't gotten water. Even the tankers are not coming. Yesterday, I have a video. I didn't want to put it public. I'll send it to you. Yesterday evening, I and your boys had to go and buy pure water. We were cutting it and put it in our buckets. That's how we got water to use yesterday. And for my family, I had to use almost 10 bags of the sachet water. It's not fair. And I'm just not getting the tankers to even bring me some. So we have to look at the water. Then the electricity. As for the electricity, I can also use it. Last year, December, after all there were quite some adjustments along the line. I was using 500 cedis for the month. Because because we are not home. Okay. Most of the time we are out. And we don't also use air conditions. They are there, but we don't use them because, the kids, they can't. They are breathing and all that. So we really don't use much. And most of the time during the week too, we are also in Kaswa. So we really not at the Spintex place that much. This year, January, Thelma, I've used 1,500. And I can bring the receipt.
For the same space that you used to pay 500.
And even December, I'm sure I should have even used more in December because it was the holiday season. We were home. And in December, it was 500. And that took me 30 days. But in January, at every 8 days, I was buying 500 cedis. In fact, I got angry with, I turned into...
A new tariff system, like some 9%.
I know that there was a 9%, but if you do the calculations, from 1st January, for January, there was a tariff adjustment. And it was supposed to be what, 9%? But 9% of 500 cedis is not 1,000 cedis. Mm-hmm. It's not. That's what, 100%?
Or 200%.
Or 200%, yes. No. So please, I don't know what is going on with it, but it is making everybody uncomfortable. When you go on social, we are at it. Other areas are also suffering needless
power
outages. I don't know. Some are suffering the doom, so some are suffering doom kura. Some today are not even getting. Some have very low voltages, and it's also spoiling their gadgets. Whatever is going on at the Electricity Company of Ghana, I'm happy the minister says he will solve it. He should be fast about it. We beg, please.
So another one that we want to hear from when the president delivers the State of the Nation address. But we were on the streets of Accra and we spoke to some of you about what your expectations are ahead of the president's delivery and what specific areas you would want to hear the president address directly when he mounts that podium and speaks to lawmakers in Parliament today. And this is what some of you had to say about your expectations ahead of SONA 2026.
It's moving on, right? But others also may complain that things may not going right. So I want the Ghana government to let their jobs come more so that the youth also can get the employment outside there to do it.
What we expect the president to do is everything the president is going to talk about or read on the paper, he should walk the talk. Ghanaians, the entire electorate are fed up of promises of politicians and, much ado about nothing. He should walk the talk and let the nation continue to run, as he has already started on a good note.
My expectation have to do with the transport system in terms of the railway sector, because people are living from far. If you have the train system in Ghana here, I think it's going to help. Personally, I had opportunity to travel to Korea for some few years, and looking at how their rail system is over there, it makes commuting to work. It's become very, very easier because train can pick you all the way maybe from Kufodia, from Tamale, from Central Region, all over the country. It's very easier convenience for you.
Yeah, President Oyadepa Emma Ghana, Ugusu Ebu Amamupama Ghana. By Yesra and no say about town for no so. Nanka Yesra obey Bibi Kakra, a boy and Bano, oh Muskukum, and no Madusia.
There's so many issues that the country is facing that Ghanaians have been talking about online, but it seems like there's nothing really heard. The cost of electricity is going so bad. People are paying so much amount of money, and the electricity is finishing and using so much of our resources and our money that we're earning. So I would really appreciate if the president will look into that matter.
Concerning the drivers, they are not collecting the amount of TNT they are supposed to collect. They are taking their own price on that. So I'm pleading on the president to work on that for us.
The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, was prepared by God at this season to lead this nation. Looking at the economy, I think the president is on point. Looking at the economy is on point. The dollar depreciation, and then also his relationship with all the institutions, that is also very, strategic. The reality has to be given to the people of Ghana, in this delivery of this nation address.
I'd like for the president.
Okay, so those were views of a section of members of the public whom we spoke to on GBC News ahead of today's 2026 SONA, The expectation is that the address will offer Ghanaians a comprehensive overview of government performance over the year, highlight measurable progress in key sectors such as the economy, agriculture, health, education, and infrastructure, and also set out some priority interventions for the year ahead. The parliamentary minority has urged the president to provide concrete solutions to pressing issues, including, as we've heard from members of the public, concerns from the cocoa farmers and the ECG. Somebody said rail development, somebody said transport fares and all that. So I'll go around the table. I'll start with you, Ellen. Expectations. So in the past year, what would you say have been the most significant things for you when it comes to the economy of Ghana? What's your understanding of the state of the nation?
At this point, I don't think my understanding matters. It is what we expect the current president to do for us. So my expectations does not matter here, because honestly, I do not expect anything from an NDC government. I don't. But since majority of Ghanaians decided that he should be our president at this time, it is what he will do to alleviate our present issues and the policies that he will champion and get his government to do for us. So the first thing I'm expecting him to talk about is about the security and our territorial borders. The issues we've been having the past few weeks. We had these tomato farmers tomato traders who traveled to Burkina and unfortunately were murdered. And we have to look at it. Just when we are dealing with that, we also had just yesterday, the fishermen who were robbed at sea by pirates. And from what I heard from the fishermen, they were Nigerian pirates, the donation and everything. They took their phones, they took their outboard motors, they took their catch. And I have to actually recommend and thank the Ghana Armed Forces through their Navy for going out there and bringing them back home. Not everybody came home. Nobody was hurt. Nobody died. And for that, we are grateful. But this should tell us that we are moving into new frontiers. Yes, new frontiers of security. And we need to be very, 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 very concerned about it, because I've never heard anywhere of pirates. And the number of boats that were attacked, about 6 boats that contain about 10 people each. So that's about
almost 60.
Almost 60 people.
59.
Oh, good. So that's very important. And then whilst we're at it, I'm also expecting him to be quick about the appointment of a substantive minister of defense, because I think that he, as president, has so much to do. He has given that responsibility to the current finance minister, but he has so much. It's going to be very difficult for him to add defense and its issues to the finance that he's acting, and it shows. Because having a minister, we all know what a minister can do, a deputy minister can never do, because they don't even have the powers and the constitutional right to do those things. So, Mr. President, this is not just a matter of, it's not politics, it's a matter of a request. We need a defense minister as quickly as possible. This year, since Dr. Mane Boama and the rest passed away, it's also, I'm sure he'll talk about it, because that's what has led to this one, and the sort of losses that we have also experienced as a nation. All this happened after his last State of the Nation address. The young ladies who went to look for the police, the military enlistment, and what happened to them, both in Airwork and in Kumasi. I think one of them in Kumasi was airlifted yesterday from the Konfanoche Hospital and brought to 37. She's still unconscious. She's still not gained consciousness. And that is something that we should look at. I just went to look for a job, and this is what has happened. What's up with the others, those who died, the things we're supposed to do for the family? How far with it? I expect to hear a word or two about that. And then, of course, about the economy, cocoa is my my basic, because I've said a lot about it. I'm not going to go back again. But I expect him to reassure our cocoa farmers. If the monies cannot be paid realistically, he cannot pay it. Perhaps find a better way of telling them that when the prices go up, we would add more to something, because they are not happy. They are not. And it is not fair, honestly. So I expect him to look at it again and then take a look at that decision. Again, whilst we're talking about cocoa, cashew prices too have dropped. I know that now they put cashew under a tree crop plantation, and I heard the prices of rubber is also coming down, and all the crops, the cash crops. But perhaps there should be a situation for, because if the cashew also drops, then there's going to be more wahala. Cocoa crying, cashew crying, rubber crying. That is going to be a lot of matters. So I expect him to talk about that. And of course, the education matters and what is happening and what GES is going to do about this spate of violence. And those young children who, are they young? Those young men who attacked that young man. And because it has gone viral, I think the president would or should make a statement about it and get us to really, really look into it, because it's terrible. Our young people cannot be doing this. So these are the three things that I think: security, our economy, especially the farmers, cocoa and its matters, and then the education matters.
Okay. All right. Haja, what would you have to add, if any?
Yes, because I think she has said it, especially what I want to add to is about the farmers, especially those who went to buy tomatoes and they were killed in Burkina Faso. I think as a country we have failed when it comes to agriculture. Burkina Faso is a desert country. How they've been able to cultivate onions, tomatoes, cabbage for us to cross the borders and go and buy, I think we should rather rethink the way we've taken agriculture in this country. I think we should make agriculture very attractive in such a way that young ones can also venture into it. We should try and create dams that we have off-season farming and encourage more young people to go into farming, because I think it's lucrative, and maybe if they can be given some incentives. The other day I was saying somewhere that when you go to other countries, you won't see maybe, let's say, Greater Accra having to plant on everything. You understand? Maybe they will segregate the country in such a way that this group doing this. That doesn't mean that you cannot interplant and get your daily subsistence farming. You see, so I think that is one thing I want to hear the president. And then when we are talking about our produce, the prices dwindling or maybe coming down, I think it is incumbent on us not to be supplying other countries' factories, maybe feeding the economy of other countries with our raw materials. What are we going to do when it comes to industrialization? As Kwame Nkrumah thought about so many years ago, that's why we had the silos, where we can put the beans there, and we can even create artificial shortage to get the prices going up. That's what I think Kwame Nkrumah did in 1962. For us to get a better, some people were saying that this is not the first time they reduced cocoa, but it was intentional, just to create shortage and for us to get a better price. I don't see why China in this 21st century, Africa, we are producing almost 60 to 70% of the raw materials in the world, but we are poor. Why? It's because we don't put finishing, we supply other countries with raw materials. And then let's look at, my sister was talking about rice production. We have a situation whereby farmers in the northern part of the country, Fumbisi Valley, and you see them harvesting a lot of rice, but no prices. People are not buying it. So I see the buffer stock, and for them to the school feeding, there should be a policy that nobody should buy any foreign rice to cook for our children. Because if you are doing that, then you are empowering the Vietnamese farmers. And, you know, some people don't even know that some of the rice that they bring is in their warehouse about 100 years old. So that's why if you eat, when you eat, look at the sickness that you don't even know young children have. But now we have it in this country.
You're blaming it on the rice.
Oh, no, I'm not saying the rice, but the products that are being imported and taking over our market. Meanwhile, our country, we can produce and then maybe add value to it. We should, let me tell you, when we were growing up, my father was a farmer at the same time a contractor. We had different variety of rice. We had the one for omotu, one for jollof, one for plain rice, and so on and so forth. After harvesting in Palugu, they will come and mill it at rice mill, Zwarongu. You understand? And we had a rice mill too in Nasia. Kwame Nkrumah was very systematic. So what can we do? I want an assurance for, because they said in their manifesto, they're talking about production, industrialization. Where are they putting the industries? Where are they going to have factories that will produce like export substitution? In such a way that what we can produce, why should we import it? You understand? Toothpick, we have bamboo. In the Western region, everywhere, it can be grown. Bamboo. Why are we importing bamboo? Toilet roll. So many things. So I think let's look at the policy of the current government when it comes to industrialization. Because if we produce, we add value, our city will not chase the dollar. Now that we have been able to manage the economy and bring down the dollar, what is the effect on our economy? The president will be the person to answer. And then when you hear about SONA, it's the state of the nation. It's coming to tell us what is happening, where we are, and where he wants us to be. So, well, I'll be expecting the women banking that was promised, because I want to venture into farming, and I learned the bank, the interest rate will be very low. It's there to help the women. I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in the health center, the health, the health, so let me put it that way, that in such a way that I'm pleading with the government, we should hear what they are going to do with the uncompleted Agenda 111, because it is Ghana money. It is us who are going to pay for all those loans that were taken. If people are found culpable, they should be brought to book. We are sick and tired of is the past administration. That is why the majority of Ghanaians gave His Excellency John Dramani an overwhelming majority. So therefore, he should take advantage of that and make sure the Agenda 111 is not for MPP. It's for all of us. They should complete it so that they improve the health sector. Because if it's anything at all. And then the first year, that was 2025, where 2025, we're made to understand that there will be 200 and something chip compounds all over the country. We want the president to tell us how, where we have reached, whether we have been able to do the 200 in the first year, or maybe we'll be able to do 50. It should let us understand. And then we should have people like Betty sitting here speaking from their ministries to be explaining issues. The technical directors should be explaining to Ghanaians what is happening. We want to hear the extension officers when it comes to the agric ministry. What are they doing to improve the agric sector? My brother and I, we are into coconut farming. I'll take you this weekend to Dunya, 30 acre. I can show you the video, 30 acre. And you know, it's part of the government initiative under Honorable Peter Otukuno, my own friend. I've discussed it with him. You should come and see how the coconut are coming up, because it's something that can create jobs for the young people around Dunya, Ada, and so on. Because as for agric, it is something that the government, we have to pay attention. And I want to advise Ghanaians, we shouldn't be cementing or putting tiles all over our building. We should leave space. You do the earth might breathe.
Okay, Ajay, if you could hold on to me for a moment, just to let our viewers know that what you're seeing on your screen now are live pictures from the Parliament House, where within the next few minutes, about 30 or so minutes, the proceedings are expected to be brought to a formal start, and His Excellency the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama is expected to deliver his second State of the Nation address. It appears that the majority side of the House are beginning to be seated. We are seeing a few activities happening on the other side of the chamber as well. I believe the majority is wearing white. And let's see what the minority side will wear, if it's coordinated. And our teams are standing by to bring some more of these scenes and happenings for you. And GBC News will give you all the coverage, and it will also be live on GTV as well. It's the President's second State of the Nation address happening live from Parliament House in Accra. Expectations are high across the two sides of Parliament, indeed, across the length and breadth of the country, with Ghanaians expecting clear policy directions on agriculture, specifically for the farmers, cocoa farmers especially. Ghanaians want to hear the President's plan for power and the tariff situation as we have it now. So the economic performance and policy direction is very dominant on the national agenda. President is expected to address progress made on economic consolidation. We should be expecting to hear some figures, inflation trends, debt sustainability efforts, and all the happenings within the macro and micro economic environment. Job creation, the government's Ejumewura program, Nkukon Kete, progress, tangible, measurable progress being made on those. Education, as some of our panel have said, what is the way forward? Civil society has specifically called on the President to account for the 42.1 billion spent on education last year, and they've detailed how funds were used and what outcomes have been achieved, especially relating to teacher development. So infrastructure is also there, bringing the shift system to a close. Expectations are high that perhaps we may hear. Of course, we also heard during the course of the year the President saying the country is a construction zone. So updates on key infrastructure projects, stalled projects. Haja has mentioned Agenda 111 projects, schools that need extra infrastructure, the big push agenda, road construction, updates on that, housing, water, power expansion, all those are expected. The health sector, we've mentioned Agenda 111, efforts to strengthen affordable health care, the Mahama Cares program, how far have we come on that, social service performance, and of course, international relations, national security, all those expected to take center stage when the President meets with the MPs and delivers that State of the Nation address. Hajia, wrap it up for me so that I'll give the last word perhaps to Betty so she can have a few minutes to also talk about her expectations.
I don't know. I just looked on my phone and I just realized that in part of Bono East, a Queen Mother has been murdered in a farming community. What is happening to us?
So national security,
yes, 2 weeks ago, was it 3 weeks ago, a lady in Potting, she's a Fulani woman, she was going to buy fresh milk, as they normally do. And a man was chasing her, he killed her there.
Okay.
So, you see, the security issues, so we have to look at it.
All right. Betty, so it's heavy is the head that wears the crown. Last year, many of the things the President highlighted in the State of the Nation address was about how badly things had been managed by the previous administration. I keep saying that now the honeymoon is well and truly over. So Ghanaians largely do not expect what some would call another lamentation of how badly things had been done when you have now been in power a full 12 calendar months. Do you feel the weight of that expectation, and what should we expect to hear from the President today?
Yeah, so I want to say that when President Mahama was elected as the flag bearer of the NDC and subsequently elected as the President of the Republic of Ghana, we, the people of the NDC, knew what or who we were presenting. And we have absolute confidence in his administration. Indeed, today he presents the State of the Nation's address. And as you know, when we talk of the State of the Nation's address, as Aja indicated, is about measuring the actual performance and the impact that has been made so far, whilst we're looking at the expectations going into the future. And as a member of his government, I will proudly say that he has a lot to tell the people of Ghana.
Give me the top 3 that you think Ghanaians should measurably accept have been progress.
So there has been rapid, recovery growth within the country. When we talk about recovery, we're talking about GDP to our debt ratio. Previously, in the previous administration, it was about 90 to 100% of our GDP. That is the debt level. Today, we are proud. Yes, it was about 90 to 100%. Yes, I'm telling you. Check the records. Check 2024, and you know what I'm talking about. Today, we are not absolutely there, but currently it has reduced, to 70 to 75. So the debt to GDP ratio has improved. Of course, there is stability in terms of our currency against the international, currencies that we should all be proud of. There is some level of stability. Interest rates have reduced, very well, and the people of Ghana are very happy because of now you can go to the market and you know that you can take a loan for your business and your business will grow. Yeah. Treasury, of course, those are some of the things that we can easily be proud of. I'm also very proud. Loans? Sorry? Yes. Yeah. Go to the banks, my dear. The interest rate is, previously, the interest rate was about 30%. Today, as I speak, it's between 13 to 15%. And so there's that, reduced, yes, in interest rate. Again, when we talk about the the government's latest program, that is the Agenda 2024, just a second.
Okay. So we are talking about expectations ahead of the 2026 State of the Nation address.
24-hour economy. Thank you.
Okay.
The 24-hour economy, which currently the 24-hour economy, which currently, the bill has been passed into an act. Yes, it's an authority now that is going to provide some tax incentives to, industrialization, to promote, employment. And performance and productivity in general. So I think that the indicators are very good so far, and I expect that the president will tell us more about it. We have in the area of agriculture that we are very proud of, the Akoko Nketenkete, as you so mentioned, that currently we believe that it's going to be a household name to empower young and old people.
Over the weekend, I came across the distribution of some poultry, some chicks. And the manner in which they were distributed, they had a list. The people who came, they came with a list and they were sharing to particular people.
Yeah, so we had people come out to register for them. And so those are the identified groups that we are currently providing and serving. Eventually, those who are interested, we are currently doing it on the small scale. We'll be moving to the medium to large scale. And I believe that eventually we will move away from the importation of poultry products to using and making use of locally.
Ladies, thank you so much. I think that a couple of areas where no one has touched on so far, people are sending messages. They want to hear about oral. Yeah. They want to hear what has happened to the cases that were investigated. People want to hear about Galamsey, and they want to hear about persons being held accountable, prosecuted for wrongdoing.
Yes.
And so those are just messages that are coming through. Ladies, thank you so much for the extended time that you spent with us this morning. Is a former acting chairperson of the CPP. Hey, Kasa. Hajia, salam alaikum. Thank you for being on the program. Betty Crosby Mensah is technical advisor to the Minister of Sports and Recreation. Betty, thank you, Minister of Sports and Recreation. Betty, thank you so much for the time you spent with us. And of course, of the Nation Address 2026 happening live in Parliament. Live scenes on your screens. We'll take a quick break. When we return, the show continues. Stay with us.
Misisi, ni bro papa.